Just how many cars are capable of hitting the insane 300 mile per hour mark, you may be wondering? Well, we're here to find out. Hello and welcome to the countdown of the top 10 fastest cars in the world. With some of these cars hitting speeds of over 300 miles per hour, I'm sure this list will leave your expectations in the dust. Buckle up and let's speed right into this. Starting this list off is the amazing Koenigsegg 1-1 with a top speed of 273 miles per hour. The strange name of this Koenigsegg reveals something wildly impressive. It means that this car has a 1-to-1 ratio in terms of horsepower and weight. So 1 horsepower for every 1 kilogram of weight, an impressive feat that no other car maker has been able to meet. The Koenigsegg 1-1 is equipped with a modified twin-turbocharged 5-liter V8 producing an incredible 1,341 horsepower, which was reused from the Agera R. It is mated with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission and aided by an electronic differential to help deliver the 1,011 pound-feet of torque to the ground and make this car accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds. The price tag of this car is $2.85 million. It is hand-assembled and limited to only 7 units. Only 1 of the cars will be going to America, 2 to Europe, and the rest will go to Asia. After that, they will have to be shipped around as collectors buy and sell them among themselves. Coming in at number 9 is yet another Koenigsegg, the Agera RS. The RS is the more powerful version of the Agera, and the RS became the fastest car back in November of 2017, hitting a top speed of 277.9 miles per hour. This record was beat 2 years later by a car that you'll see soon. This car has a twin-turbo 5-liter V8 engine that produces 1,341 horsepower and 1,160 pound-feet of torque. Limited to only 25 units, this car was priced at a whopping $2.5 million. The Chinger 21C, built by the Chinger father and son team based in Los Angeles, has gone outside the normal production parameters they started with and decided to build all their components in-house. The powertrain they devised was an original 2.9-liter flat-plane V8 engine with 3 electric motors that could run on almost any fuel, including carbon-recycled methanol. The 7-speed sequential transaxle is also unique, allowing the driver to skip gears like with a dual-clutch design, but allowing the whole component to weigh substantially less. The extraordinary machine that this duo crafted produces 1,250 horsepower, 1,060 pound-feet of torque, propelling it to 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, with a top speed of 281 miles per hour. There are 80 units of this car, which were priced at $2 million. The car itself is not what is so remarkable about the duo, and what they have accomplished, though. They are trying to change the way vehicles are produced because, according to them, it is an outdated, barbaric production method that needs to change. The SSC Tuatara. This car has a 5.9-liter flat-plane, crank V8 engine producing 1,750 horsepower, 1,280 pound-feet of torque, 100 units produced and sold at $1.6 million, and has an even more interesting story. It's not uncommon to see the controversy surrounding top speed records, especially when breaking the once mythical and downright impossible 300-mile barrier. It all started in October 2020 when the SSC Tuatara supposedly hit a high speed of 331 miles per hour, which would have made it the fastest car in the world by a long shot. It took mere hours before people started pointing out discrepancies in the videos, and sure enough, what would have been a record-breaking run just couldn't be verified. SSC is still anxious to prove that the Tuatara is the fastest car in the world, and it made a second attempt. Unfortunately, that second attempt wasn't as good as the first, but it did set an official record of 282.6 miles per hour, pushing the Koenigsegg Agera RS out of its way for second place. Although there have been a lot of controversies surrounding the SSC Tuatara's top speed in the past, it looks like we finally have a conclusion. The automaker decided to put it all to bed by attempting one other run and putting all skeptics to rest. While it's not a 316 miles per hour run, or even over 300 miles per hour for that matter, but it's definitely better than the 282.6 miles per hour. The Tuatara touched 295 miles per hour, thus beating its own record and claiming the 7th spot on this list of the fastest cars in the world. No surprise that number 6 is yet another Koenigsegg, and no surprise that they're the first on this list to break the 300-mile-per-hour barrier. The Koenigsegg CC850 was initially designed and built to commemorate and honor the anniversary of the successful Koenigsegg CC8S, with the idea of limiting the production to a mere 50 units. Because of the demand for the car, the executives decided to bump that number up by 20 more, making it even 70 cars to come out of the assembly plant, priced at $3.65 million. Even though the CC850 was a way to honor the CC8S, the components were nothing like the original car. Instead, the CC850 was based on the Jesco, receiving the same multi-link suspension in the front and rear, including hydraulic and gas hydraulic shocks. A 9-speed light automatic transmission sends the torque to the rear drive tires, and the engaged shifter system allows the driver to go through the gears to simulate a manual shift transmission. It has a twin-turbo 5-liter V8 1,385 horsepower, 1,020 pound-feet of torque, and moves 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. It's well known the standard Bugatti Chiron is already among the fastest cars in the world, with a top speed of around 261 miles per hour. Still, the French firm wanted to set a new record, so it created an even more potent beast. Bugatti took the slightly more powerful engine from the 110, still sporting the amazing quad-turbo 8-liter W16 engine, rated at 1,578 horsepower, 99 more than the standard Chiron, added longer gear ratios to the gearbox, and crafted a revised aerodynamic package that increases the car's length by almost 10 inches. The modified car hit a top speed of 304.7 miles per hour. To celebrate the event, Bugatti built a production model based on the Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus prototype. This car is limited to 30 examples at 3.8 million, enough to validate the speed record with the Guinness World Records. Being able to reach the speed of 310 miles per hour, 8.1 seconds is all this hypercar takes to blast down the strip through the quarter mile, introducing the SP Automotive Chaos. The 3,065 horsepower that the twin-turbo 4-liter V10 pumps out, yes, you heard that right, will make you think you are on a rocket ship rather than inside the cockpit of a car. Since the outer materials are made from aerospace technology and the entire vehicle was designed using 3D printing technology, it may be a reasonable assumption. That is if you can forget that you have 4 wheels underneath you that keep you grounded on the road. The SP Automotive Chaos will be available in 2 forms. The one above that will be used to break some speed records, and another version that has been detuned down to a mere 2,000 horses. The reason is to make the car a little more affordable, dropping the price tag for the less powerful version to $6.4 million, from the more expensive example at $14.4 million. Of course, this one will not be breaking any records, but it will still give you a thrill on the racetrack. Not so shocking to see another Bugatti. Take a look at the Boldy. With 1,825 horsepower, this car is a beast and beats the last car out by 1 mile per hour, topping out at 311. The weight of a car can make a huge difference when it comes to track times, which is one of the big reasons that the Bugatti Bolide is able to reach speeds of over 300 miles per hour. Engineers made sure to incorporate as many modern materials as possible to get the dry weight down to 2,734 pounds. That, along with the modifications made to the 8-liter W16 engine to allow it to run on 110-octane racing fuel, make for a super fast track-built hypercar. Of course, you cannot forget about the increase in the size of the turbocharger blades and the orientation of the turbochargers. The power and torque are put to the ground through a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic to all 4 wheels, since the Bugatti Bolide is an all-wheel drive track monster. Hennessy is known for its insane builds over the years, so the Texas-based tuner decided to try making a car from scratch. It came up with the Venom GT back in 2011 and stayed in production until 2017, although only 17 examples were built. But it was in 2016 when we learned that Hennessy is working on the GT's successor, which will be even better than the model it replaces. In all honesty, the successor didn't disappoint. Called the Venom F5, The supercar featured a brand new V8 that churned out over 1,800 horses and close to 1,200 pound-feet of torque. All the oomph was routed to the rear wheels via a 7-speed automatic. The tuner automaker claims that the Venom F5 can sprint to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds and will have a top speed of 311 miles per hour. It has been improving in each of its runs, with the last one at NASA's runway in Florida clocking 271.6 miles per hour. But Hennessy is not done yet and plans to reach its ultimate goal of 311 miles per hour, so we won't rule it out just yet. Do you think the Hennessy Venom F5 will be able to achieve the 311 miles per hour milestone? The moment we have all been waiting for, number 1, the Koenigsegg Jesco Absolute. Just when you thought the Jesco was the ultimate machine from the Swedish automaker, it decided to come up with a hyper version of the supercar with the Absolute suffix. The Jesco Absolute was revealed in 2020, and the company worked on its aerodynamics and high-speed road behavior to make it unbelievably fast. It boasts a drag coefficient of just 0.278, courtesy of changes like an extended rear hood, covered rear wheels, and a lowered suspension. It misses out on front-wheel louvers and the massive rear wings, whereas the front hood air ducts are also closed. The 600 horsepower, $2.8 million. Absolute Jesco has a top speed of 330 miles per hour. But it must be noted that this is a theoretical top speed, and the car hasn't achieved it in reality yet. We could probably see it out in the open soon since the first model came out of the oven in May 2022. All said, we will definitely be disappointed if this turns out to be another Tuatara kind of fiasco. But for now, we'll take Koenigsegg's word for it and give it the crown for being the fastest car in the world. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again.